A new location is being considered for the Wisconsin-Vietnam Veterans Wall in Appleton that's likely to increase its visibility. We spoke to a local veteran about his conversation with city officials and what it might mean moving forward. Since its dedication in April of last year, the Wisconsin-Vietnam Veterans Wall has been on display in the 2500 block on North Richmond Street. But Jack Voigt, who led the effort to build it, says it could move soon, amid ongoing conversations with city officials.
My decision is that I'd be willing to agree or work with whatever plan they have in mind. And so I am just waiting to hear the next shoe to drop, I guess I'd like to say. The shoe will drop eventually, and hopefully the wall that is here at my location will be there at the city.
One proposal would relocate the wall to Veterans Memorial Park on the city's north side, where other memorials already exist. Well, the Parks and Recreation Committee has approved a concept plan for the park. The area where the memorials would be is still rather fluid, as the council continues to develop ideas for a vision and the number of memorials that might be included.
Also sort of thinking strongly about the separation among all those memorials. We don't just want to walk into a field of memorials in a flat space. So if you think about how those things are staggered in a much larger space like the mall in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of space for those things to breathe.
The wall has the names of 1,249 veterans on it who died during the Vietnam conflict, including 27 from Outagamie County. Every county except Iron is represented because that county didn't lose anyone. Voigt says featuring the wall as part of a larger display would be his preference.
I think it's a wall that does send a message that we are concerned about our veterans, and also it will recognize and honor veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Well, exact spaces for the memorials haven't been decided. The concept plan for the park does include an area designated for a memorial garden featuring monuments to each American war.